Well, hello there, crafty friend. Suzanne here in the studio today with an all the things video. I don't know about you, but once upon a time, not that long ago, in Scrapland, I used to want to get all the things for a paper line, and I hardly ever do that anymore, and there were a couple of things that led me to decide that that was too much. While I'm talking about that, I'll go ahead and flip through some of these papers so you can see the pretty paper. One of the things was when American Crafts started issuing these paper lines that would have 20 or 24 different double-sided papers. And then, of course, they'd also have the thickers and maybe enamel dots or buttons or brads or who knows what all. And it just got to be overwhelming. I really didn't need all of that, I decided. And I just had to get over that wanting the entire kit kind of mentality. The other thing was that helped me was that close to my heart, I was loving their scrapbook kits. And they just have, 6 pieces of double-sided paper that those kits are based on. 3 different designs, 2 of each. And then occasionally they'll give you a couple more background sheets in the scrapbook kits. So that was really plenty. You didn't need all of that stuff. So what I decided was to kind of stay away from that. But occasionally, especially at year end, when there are all kinds of deals, I would be more likely to go ahead and buy something. And this is a case in point. This is Crafter's Companion, The Mediterranean Dreams. And I'm sure I got this on a year-end sale. This paper says it's from 2023. And I was actually on Crafter's Companion to get some Totally Tiffany. And instead, I ended up with some Mediterranean Dreams. So I got some other things because everything was very cheap. And I got the olive and leaf stencil. I got the Mediterranean tile cutting die. I got a stamp and metal die set called Live Your Zest Life. I got a clear acrylic stamp set called Mediterranean Window. I have another die called Lemon Vine and yet another one called Delicate Lace Border. Plus, they also had tricolor aqua markers with citrus vine, clear skies, and bougainvillea. So you get these 3 different colors, each one on a different marker. So this definitely qualifies for all the things. So since this reminded me of the Stampin' Up's current Mediterranean Blooms line, I thought it was a good time to pull this out and see what I can get done. So I'll be back in just a bit with some projects. And I'm back. First, let me give you the colors that I ended up matching up with this. From Stampin' Up, Pear Pizzazz, Old Olive, Calypso Coral, and Starry Sky. I didn't actually use any Calypso Coral in the 3 layouts I did. I will store it with this for when I get to some of the other ones. From Close to My Heart, Linen, Sundance, and Nectarine. Okay. Here is the first one. And then what got me started on this was a quick screenshot out of the Facebook Makers group. One of the gals had done a video and she had used this simple pattern of 5 different strips of paper. So not an original idea, but it did give me an idea about how to add in a little cardstock to give yourself a little relief when you're dealing with such varied patterns. I considered doing cardstock, paper, but that looked kind of contrived. It almost broke it up too much. Okay, so then here, this is very simple. I have some journaling blocks here done with a Stampin' Up word window punch. And then Live Your Zest Life. This is another punch from Stampin' Up. I can't remember what this is called. But I know I'll be using this a lot because they just came out with a larger one called the Modern Oval. So I've ordered it, but I haven't gotten it yet. And then over here, because I wanted this one to kind of match up with these rounded edges, I just cut a rectangle here, stamped it, and then corner rounded it. And then up here, we've just got a plain tab punch from my stash. All of these sentiments are from the Live Your Zest Life Stamp and Die set. And I have to tell you, I'm not impressed with Crafter's Companion stamps or the dies in this particular set. The stamps didn't want to leave a crisp image. They either looked almost like they had water spots if you went too light, or they looked smushed if you went too heavy. And the dies really slipped around badly on my Big Shot machine. So I don't think I will be buying any more of those. Here you can see I've just used some gems, and these are just from my bling stash. Let me show you a quick shot of my bling box in case you haven't seen it on an earlier video. This is just the bottom of an art bin acrylic box that had a lid. I had several of these, and 2 of them I broke the lid. So I took the lid off and I converted 2 of them to hold my bling. One to hold my enamel dots and the other to hold pearls and gems and such. And as I think the camera will pick it up, here I've got each section labeled: blues and purples, greens and grays, teal turquoise, yellows, orange, red, pink, and then neutrals. So this just makes it real easy to add finishing touches, having that close at hand. Finishing touches like the one on this second layout. Here we have what basically started as 6 inches of paper over 6 inches of paper with a pretty border in between. As you can see, I've used this metal die. Now I have to say this metal die worked really well. Maybe because it's a little larger, it's made a little sturdier. It cut very well. So I was happy with that. I've got border under here, and then I also did a border in the corner where I had turned back the corner of my paper. And I just have here's another Stampin' Up! Punch from back in the day. Again, their punches last a good long time. I did a little coloring here. I started using the Crafter's Companion water markers, and they're okay. Their color was pretty bold though, so I was having to spend quite a bit of time blending. So, for those of you that don't have it, one of the things when you're doing a die like this that's got a lot of little sections in it is to have one of these tools. This was actually made by Sizzix, but it was sold by Stampin' Up! Back in the day, along with the foam pad. This makes it really nice to be able to get a lot of those little pieces, not only out of your die cut, but out of your metal die as well. They don't sell this anymore, but Stampin' Up! Does have a pick your tool tool. It has a brush like this as one of the ends, one of the options. Okay, moving on to the third. Here's another where I got the idea. I feel like I was reminded about this idea because this feels very much like a close to my heart idea books. They had sketchbooks. But I tried to fancy it up a little bit using this other die, this lemon vine. This one also cut really nicely. I used it here on the edge of my large banner. And then I finished it off with bling and a ribbon at the top. I also have this ribbon going across here, as you can see. All the ribbon you have seen so far has been Stampin' Up! Ribbon. That's the good thing about being a Stampin' Up! Demo again. I am rediscovering my stash that has been used entirely too slowly. So, and a lot of these older colors seem to match just fine with some of the newer colors. And then I went ahead and had, this ribbon is newer. This is Crushed Curry. I think that looks really cute. Title would be nice here, but since I don't know what kind of pictures I'm going to use on this one, I did not put one on. So there you have that. Okay. It was a pad of 36 pieces of paper, 3 each of 12 designs, and I only used 6 pieces of paper. I did use about half of the extras. I did get this Mediterranean tile die out and was playing with it, but to be honest, it was not cutting well. I had shimmed it 2 or 3 different ways and it still wasn't cutting well. So I will try again with that next time. Here's an acrylic stamp window set. That's really cute. We'll see how this one does. And then there's a stencil olive and leaves. So I will put all of this back with the paper pad into my stash, and hopefully I can get back to it in a month or two. In the meantime, if you're liking this Mediterranean vibe, you should go check out Stampin' Up's Mediterranean Blooms, as well as their Take Your Pick tool. As always, I appreciate your time and attention. Bye for a bit.